Hello everybody and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a thrice weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom. I'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show. Today, starring ITFC aficionado David Diamond and Mikey Penty-Smith. We'll be here for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour of football conversation. So make your Monday a Blue Monday. Dave, season 4. They said we'd never last.
Good to be back, mate. Yeah. Signed on despite...
you started with a Gary Glitter quote.
Despite one or two... Yeah, didn't I? Yeah. But despite one or two Twitter comments that I'd retired, negotiations were tough over the summer, but another season with an option for one more, I think, probably, Ben.
Mikey Penty-Smith, what are you doing?
I'm on a rolling contract, aren't I?
These contract gags have got to stop now, haven't they? Because it makes it look like there's trouble in the camp, doesn't it? That I can't.
Yeah,
tie
does
you down
anyone?
to.
All my negotiations going to be sorted out by Lord Pat Lewis next year. He's on for my 10% of a call.
I don't want to negotiate with Pat. Although I did have a band manager once who genuinely said in a meeting, "If I travel for you, I'm not travelling anything less than first class." No joke. No joke.
Quite right.
Quite right. Guys, there's too many moving parts for me to do my normal news kind of wrap at the start. So what we're going to do, we'll go to the Blackburn game. So there's actually some tangible, factual information to talk about that isn't hearsay or us kind of guessing transfer deals next week. And then we'll work from there. I put the shout out for Twitter questions early, and there are lots. So maybe we'll get into it after that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah,
let's do it. So we're going to Portman Road for the Blackburn game, the first game of the Paul Hurst era. We did meet beforehand, so we had the surprise of the team coming through, and we couldn't quite fathom, given all of the 4-2-3-1 for the whole of pre-season, what it was going to be. But it wasn't a 4-2-3-1 at all. So Białkowski in goal, Spence at right back, Donacien on his debut with Chambers at centre back, Knudsen left back. So then you can call it a 4-3-3 because Chalobah was sat in front of the back four, with then Skews and Downs in front of him, and then Sears off to the left, Edwards off to the right, with Harrison up front. So I've gone with 4-3-3 or 4-1-2-3, but bit of a surprise, Dave?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I thought Skews was a little bit deeper than that. I must admit. I thought
Chalobah was clearly on his own in front of the back four.
Do you think? Okay, maybe it's different angles you see the game from.
Yeah.
Certainly, Downs was. I thought Downs was certainly more advanced. Yeah, a bit of a departure, but at the outset, it all worked rather wonderfully, didn't it?
But Mikey, no playmaker, 3 defensive midfielders essentially.
Yeah, no Dazelle. I was a little bit disappointed by that lineup, but he hasn't got all of the players that he wants yet, so he can't. Maybe he just thought this is the safest option that I've got is to play Skews in there, and I think he wanted to play Downs because he played well against West Ham, and Chalobah apparently did enough to warrant a starting place as well. So I think it might have been a case of they were the midfielders he wanted to play. So he played them, even though maybe it wasn't the best way of playing them.
I think I agree with that. I mean, looking at the game yesterday, they were quite, I thought, quite physical in midfield, quite really quick to the second ball, quite biting in the tackle, and maybe it was not quite the game for Dazelle yesterday.
Yeah, very good, very good. Blackburn 4-4-1-1, Raya in goal, Nyambe, Lenihan, Mulgrew, who you like, Dave, and Williams across the back. Dominic Samuel of a couple of games at Ipswich a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
Smallwood, Evans, Bennett across the midfield, and then Dak floating around behind Graham. And we said in the build-up lots and lots of times that this is a very well-practiced team against a not very well-practiced team. But we'll go to you first, Dave, because the first action of the Paul Hurst era, literally the first thing in my notepad, in fact, the first two things, first thing in my notepad is a goal. So, Dave, fill your boots.
I mean, very good, really by initially by Skews. I think it was he got a short ball from, I believe it was Spence, and very quick feet, manoeuvred the ball out to manoeuvred the ball away and out to Downs. Really good play from Skews. Downs and good support. Downs, great support from Knudsen. Sears very much hugging the left touch line, so got the ball at his feet. Got the ball out of his feet. Lovely cross with pace, clip cross with pace. Edwards coming in at the back post, got the jump. I think it was Mulgrew, got the jump on his shoulder. And great finish. Really well timed, because really well timed jump. And right in the diagonal, right at the postage stamp, as one would say. And Ryan, no chance. Great goal, really good goal. Well, I mean, great play, I thought initially. Credit where credit's due to Skews. Really, really clever play. But nothing else to add to that, really.
Mikey, anything on that?
No, you've just described it perfectly, Dave. I actually felt quite emotional after the goal went in. I just thought this is so good.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started to think, is this going to be like this all game? We're
going to win 8-0.
Yeah. But no, brilliant. What a way to start. And even though it didn't carry on quite at that standard, I think it's still important to start as you mean to go on. And yeah, it was impressive. A great goal.
Good moment,
it was. Yeah. It was a really well constructed goal, and I don't think Mowbray could have. I don't think he'd throw too much at his defenders for that. It was really good move across the pitch, lovely ball in with pace. Yeah, I don't think he could have any issues with that.
Right, before we go to the next goal, and I have to hold my hands up. My missus pointed this out to me. On about 10 minutes on your touchline, Dave, Bennett and Spence, they clash together, and Bennett bounces right off, and Bennett goes down, and he's, kind of badly winded.
Yeah.
And Spence looks like he's come off okay from that. You know what Spence is like. But I just need to say that for what's going to happen in 15 minutes time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Right. So, Mikey, you're all emotional. You're all happy after 4 minutes. After 19 minutes, Samuel does well to draw a foul from
soft one, isn't it?
Chalobah. Yeah, but he drew it.
I think it probably was a foul.
Yeah. No, it's a clever. Ben's right. It's a clever one.
What happens next, Mike? Take it away.
So I'm always really bad with opposition players' names.
Smallwood.
So I've written down Smallwood. Yeah, really clever free kick. Everyone was marking on the edge of the box, but then. Who was the player that peeled off to the back post? Sorry,
Lenigan, wasn't it, Ben?
The other centre half that's not the captain. Yeah.
For some reason, our back four didn't anticipate him running into the box, even though he was a big centre back, and he peeled off, made a really good run. It was clearly one from the training ground, and the ball in was perfect. He's headed it across, and then there was another smart header, and he was so close to Bart. I think it took. Bart saw it very late and just sort of flicked one hand up at it, when really, if he'd have gone with two, he'd have easily have caught it. And then Bart's actually quite good, I find. When he does flap, he quite often reacts very quickly, and he did again, but he just made like a terrible contact with the ball the second time around and flicked it straight to Danny Graham. He wheels away celebrating.
Good finish.
It was a good finish, yeah, but he spoilt it for himself because he ran to do a knee slide, but didn't have the momentum, so he ended up falling forwards. And I've done that before, albeit in Sunday League, not at Portman Road. It's really embarrassing. So he spoilt that moment for himself a little bit. But yeah, really disappointing goals. And Chambers covered his man, so that meant there would have been another 3-1 in the middle. So it was all a little bit chaotic, and yeah, disappointing one to concede.
I thought the centre half got away from Chalobah. I think Chalobah was caught ball watching, but I think you're right. It was quite a clever free kick, because when the free kick was given, it was one of those ones where you think, he's going to put it. Ben would remember this, like Dale Stevens, Brighton. He's going to put it in that area where if the defender miss it, it might creep in. And when he first takes a free kick, you think, that's terrible. He's overhit it, but really, really good work. Really clever free kick, I think.
And you have to preface this with a million caveats, but I thought it was poor from Bialkowski. And if I was Donacien, I'd be really annoyed because Donacien is well positioned, and when Bart flicks it, he flicks it straight into his face, and it's like, well, what can I do now? And then it bounces off.
It's Bart's fault, and it's no slur on Donacien. Yeah, he was hampered by Donacien. That was what it was, but he should have had better hands on that. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good keeping.
But we do love him, and there is a million caveats to any criticism.
Oh lordy, yeah.
But
we'll allow him that
before the internet completely eats us up for saying that. Harrison chases in behind. Poor clearance from Raya, who I actually thought was a good keeper. Out to Edwards. Cry goes up to shoot, but he didn't look very comfortable. That was not going in either. Hits the defender in the face. I got 25 minutes. I wrote down Blackburn on top. I thought they were using the ball and the territory was there. And Dave, on 28 minutes, a complete turnaround. You know, you have those bets where it's one side to be winning at half time and one side to be winning at full time. We had one side winning on 4 minutes and then behind on 28 minutes. And what the hell happened to Spence?
Well, again, is this? I mean, your good lady perhaps has given Spence some dispensation here because as it transpires,
brilliant.
Oh, that is very good.
Carry on, Dave.
Spence, because if as what we think he was perhaps slightly concussed as it looked like when he was walking off being supported, and he certainly wasn't limping or anything, then maybe we can cut him some slack there. I mean, he lost possession in a bad position. Ball I think was clipped forward from Smallwood to Graham. If there was a criticism about this goal, I think Donacien got too tight to Graham, too tight. So if he stands off him, Graham's going to bring that ball down and he's going to have it there facing away. But he's almost too tight to Graham. Very clever play from Graham. Lovely ball. Great over top.
Yeah.
Good run from Williams, and I wouldn't really criticise anyone for not tracking that run. That was good. And the rest of it's just very good. Williams shows, I thought, really good composure. Waits his time. Dak, who I thought was just an excellent player right all day, really buzzing here and there. Looked like he's carrying a bit though, didn't he? Looked a bit carrying a bit of timber there.
Doesn't matter when you got feet like that.
As far as the fullback's concerned, yeah, really good composure, and yeah, he's again. You could say okay, he was marking, but no, finished from 4 yards? No chance. Yeah, good goal. Good goal.
Mikey, I thought when Graham played it, our whole defence was just, when someone gets dummied or whatever. I think our whole defence was just, what's just happened? Yeah.
Yeah, they were all over the place, but yeah, that was probably the one thing that Hurst got. I don't want to say he got it badly wrong because it's just being the expert after the event, but I think he started Donacien ahead of Wolfenden because of experience, I'm guessing, and starting Spence there at right back for familiarity's sake. But it just didn't work at all. I don't think Spence is a good enough right back to carry a centre back who's being played out of position. As Donacien was, because before the game you weren't 100% sure on who was going to be starting right back, were you? Because no. they're both right backs that can play centre back.
And Hurst said,
it really did
look
like that.
He played right back, Donacien.
Yeah. And he did look more comfortable when he moved. But yeah, Spence, when he was running back, I'm not sure he would have actually managed to catch Graham or whoever it was down the left.
But also Graham,
the way he was running back was just so. Because he's quite an elegant looking guy. He's very athletic, but he just looked like he was drunk when he was running back. It was really.
I mean, I think you probably got it right there. That perhaps he didn't want to risk Wolfenden up against all of 90 minutes up against Graham. Graham's an experienced player. I thought he had a really good game. He was blown out of his backside when he went off after about an hour. Yeah. But he's still a very good player, and he scored goal. Sunderland, Swansea. He's been round the block. Clever player. I thought he was really good. Really good.
And you're right. And it apologies if I'm jumping too far ahead, but although Wolfenden, his positional play was very good and he was very composed on the ball, there was a few times where Blackburn, I think they were expecting Wolfenden to start and they had a game plan for playing against him. They were doing all of the dirty tricks, holding his arms down so he couldn't jump and things like that. And yeah, had Wolfenden started, maybe he could have got exposed as Donacien and Spence did. But
yeah, and again, he's just spent $750,000 on Donacien.
That was the point, Dave. That was the point I was going to make, is that nothing against Spence, but Spence was brought in for no money, had no club, and had been at Milton Keynes, and he's possibly going to be up against two guys who are going to be over $500,000 brought in by the current manager rather than the previous
And,
manager.
I would say overall, Spence, the bigger picture hasn't really let us down at all. He's played centre-half, he's played right-back,
Not for what we paid. Dave, did I tell you? I did a gig, I've probably said this on the pod before, I'm going to embarrass myself, with a German drummer who is playing for Spence's girlfriend. I forget her name.
Emily Hart.
Is that it? I don't know. Naomi.
Emily Hart's Pink Power Ranger, yeah.
Naomi. She's called Naomi.
That was quick.
Yeah, he's googled her.
She was Naomi in the. Oh, right. I don't. Maybe I got that.
Anyway,
maybe that's a Power Ranger name. Actually, that perhaps is it. Maybe I got that confused.
You mugged yourself up today. Anyway,
probably
if they do any kind of gig, I can get us in because I know the drummer, so we can see Spence's missus when they do some more stuff. Although she's going to be in a film with like Will Smith or something. So
is he also going to be in Level 42?
Very good, very good. You've already mentioned it, Mikey. 36 minutes, Wolfenden in for Spence, and I think a lot of people were very pleased to see Wolfenden. I think a lot of fans are quite high on him. 45, Ipswich advance down the left, in swinging cross. Skews arrives, but he's well marked. He glances the header, and Reyes got it covered, and we get to half time. Rovers probably. I don't know, slightly edged it. It wouldn't have been unfair if it was 1-1, would it? But and we said
Edwards. You'd have to. Edwards had quite a good effort just before half time from an angle. Hit it over.
Go on.
Well, that's only because it was right in front of me. Yeah, from an angle, the ball sort of came across the box and he got it wide. Obviously, he knew time was ticking away. Half time was just about to be blown, and hit a fairly decent effort over from an angle. Didn't require a save from Raya, but yeah, that was sort of the beginning. You think, okay. Other than the goal,
he certainly didn't look low on confidence, did he? And things weren't coming off for him in the first half. I actually thought after he scored, he actually wasn't particularly productive. He gave the ball away a lot, but he kept going at it, didn't he?
Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
I'm not going to jump.
Just wait. I cannot wait for this thing in the second half. God. Second half, Dax slides into the box right in front of you, Dave. Down he goes. Knudsen was furious with him, wasn't he? Right up in his face. He dived there, Dave.
There was contact, but he did go down rather easily. But there was contact, but I think the right decision.
Knudsen does not like diving. He always gets in the face of whoever's gone down.
He does,
and really shouts at them. He did it at the World Cup as well, which is probably why let's not talk about his lack of quality on the ball. He can't play in the Premier League if he hates that sort of behaviour.
Very good point. Do you think he might go to the Premier League then, Mikey?
We'll come to that, I'm sure, in the Twitter questions. Right, Bennett takes yellow on Chalobah. This becomes a running battle in the middle here. I've put on the hour, Blackburn, they're not sitting in, but they're very much saying, okay, 2 lines of 4, we're gonna make it tough for you. We've got the lead, and we're going to be.
You said it earlier. A typical Mowbray side. I thought, well, athletic, well disciplined.
Okay. On the hour, we get the 4-2-3-1 now. So Eden comes in for Downs. Skews drops in next to Chalobah. Edwards. So Sears goes into the 10 position. Eden goes on the left forward, and Harrison is still up there on his own. And Mowbray, within 2 minutes, matches up. He brings in Palmer, who you liked as well, Dave, from Huddersfield, I think, a couple of years ago. So he goes 4-2-3-1. He swaps Bennett over. Palmer goes on the left. Dax stays where he is. And Evans and Smallwood drop back sort of 10 yards just to match the whole thing up. Nuttall comes in for Graham. Big muddle at the back. Wolfenden, you were saying, Mikey, about how they played him. He gets kind of stuck and blocked over, and they take a quick throw in and block him out. There's a handball shout. I think it gets smashed into Donatian's face pretty much, and then goes out to Evans, who puts it over from the edge. Chambers in a foot race with Bennett. This was a bit eerie. Bit of ball, bit of man. Yellow card for Chambers. What happened there, Dave?
Yeah, as you said, bit of ball, bit of man. Harsh one, really. Harsh
okay.
one, yeah.
Okay.
Bennett was going at pace though, so it looked one of those ones. It looked worse than they are. And you can always tell, I think, by Chambers' react. And I think Chambers, one of these players, if he's taking someone out like that, is okay, fair enough.
Give me the yellow.
It could have a bit unfortunate to pick up one there, I thought.
Should have been 3-1 here on 77. Dak gets into the box from the right. It's a good block by Donasian, and then he does exactly what Bialkowski does in the first half. He then tries to, he slides it straight back out. And who was it? Palmer. And then for the first time, let's say it for the first time this season, Bialkowski saves Ipswich.
He should have. That's what Mowbray said afterwards. He should have absolutely put his laces through it, and I think he meant to. He just scuffed it, didn't he? But hey, Bart was there.
Morris in for Sears on 78. Morris goes into the 10 position and pretty much immediately gets into the game. He gets down the right and crosses low for Harrison. Good start by him. And then, excellent move this. Real good 50-50 tackle by Edwards. Morris drives forward. He looks. I was really pleased with this because I saw him against Forest and against Reading, and he totally didn't have it in him last season.
Did you not think my impression of him yesterday? I think he may have come on against West Ham. I can't remember. He's filled out, mate. He's bulked up. Definitely bulked up.
He looked remarkably like Freddie Sears in terms of stature, but the difference was when he ran with the ball direct. He only had eyes for the ball rather than Sears still he just looks at the player next to him who he thinks he's going to be tackled by. He just doesn't have that tunnel vision anymore.
Interesting.
But,
so Morris drives it forward and cuts inside. Really good move. And this is good goalkeeping as well. He waits, and it's a big left foot.
Conway, good to see.
Conway comes in for Dak, who's going to be a great player for Blackburn this season. And then, just the best thing I've seen at Portman Road in ages. So it comes to Edwards on the half volley, who slices it over his marker's head, spins round him, accelerates away, runs towards the box. I was going mental. This was brilliant. And then steps over. Steps over and back heels it round, then goes outside again and then takes the shot. I think once you've done the first manoeuvre, you just have to accept, right, go and shoot now. Doesn't matter if there's 3 players unmarked with an open goal. You have to shoot now. What did you make of that run, Mikey?
Dave, are you about to say that the real skill was how he didn't miscontrol the ball when he was running at pace?
Unbelievable. The real skill. No, don't get me wrong. The first thing he did was absolutely brilliant. But when he transfers the ball, when he does the sort of, the transfers the ball onto his left foot at pace, that's outstanding. Absolutely unbelievable. And then goes outside again. Incredible. Really. It was almost Ronaldinho-esque, wasn't it? It was incredible.
Yeah. Mikey?
Yeah, he's not rapid, is he? He
can accelerate though.
That's the thing, and he seems to know where to put the ball and where to put his body, and that was brilliant. And it was a defender that blocked it, wasn't it? It wasn't a save.
Yeah, it's just a great defender.
Really good bit of defending.
Can I just say,
defended brilliantly, I thought.
Can I just say, Ben, just for Daryl Jones and GB of the Naked Footy Show, Jimmy Robertson.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as you mentioned.
They'll be all over that. Yeah. They'll be all over it.
Yeah, superb wing playing. I always have this with wingers. Don't fall in love with them too quick. He might not do it for another 3 months now, but what a in the words of Vince McMahon, what a manoeuvre! It was beautiful. Lenihan takes a yellow. We're into kicking it away and slowing everything down now, and lots of niggly little fouls. Smallwood, another yellow on Chalobah. And Mikey, free kick to Ipswich, 90 minutes and 30 seconds. And someone smarted me up. I can't remember the last time we did this, but we're only going to score an injury time equaliser.
Yeah. We had actually, after 80 minutes, I was thinking, we haven't actually been very good overall today, and I'm not going to be particularly positive. But then Morris came on and made a big difference, and then we were pushing, and I think that, I don't know if we deserved the equaliser, but it was kind of coming, wasn't it? And we got the free kick, and everybody ran past the ball. There was nobody there to take the free kick.
Right, yeah.
And then I saw Knudsen go over, and I thought, he doesn't have much in the way of subtlety.
Finesse.
But then he, rather than just chucking it in the box, he played the clever pass down the line. Didn't didn't pull it off perfectly, did he? But Edwards managed to do enough to get the ball back to Eden. It is Eden, isn't it? And he, it's quite clever. He turned away from goal, so his body shape. He was facing the Pioneer Britannia stand, and has really whipped it in. But I don't think he actually got under it as much as he wanted to. But it was actually a really good cross. I think it might have been Morris that was closest to it, but yeah, and then it just flicked in off the post. It was a wicked cross. It reminded me of a goal that Martin Royce has scored against Charlton at the Valley in our good Premier League season. Where it was just a killer cross, and it just had the perfect curl in it. And yeah, it was harsh on Blackburn because they didn't really do. Maybe one of the defenders could have come and dealt with it, but I thought they, by and large, defended much better than we did. And then, conceded an unlucky goal at the end. But, yeah, fair play to Eden. He didn't look like he was quite up to the pace for me. He showed good touches, but I noticed a couple of times he was asking the thrower or Bart to slow it down because he was struggling a little bit. And yeah, he didn't really show an incredible amount of willing off the ball. But yeah, when he did get it, he did show some quality, and he loved that goal, didn't he? Even though he didn't mean it, he really celebrated like he did.
Dave, anything on that?
No, it's great. I mean, I think you've got to say, I mean, he joined up with the squad. Was it Friday afternoon? Something like that, was it? I believe. So, or maybe he did train Friday. So, he hasn't really been, hasn't been around the squad at all. So, yeah, I think like you, Mike, I think he showed some nice touches. Bren knows I love all left-footed players. There's room for him in every team of mine.
It's Glenn Adams' fault, yeah?
Yeah, well, they're two-footed, you know that. Yeah, so stop that. But yeah, I think I quite liked him, and I think he'll I think it's good sign of being an asset. Obviously, looks technically very good, and I think it was a clever ball. He just put it in as an old cliche, and he just puts it in a good area, doesn't he? And we've seen how many times you see those creep in. I mean, it just happens a lot. Mowbray was you'd have perhaps had a better view of this, Mike. Oh, so would you, Ben. He must go in absolutely ape shit, wasn't he? I don't think you could quite believe it. But look, they sat. I mean, this is it. They sat back. Mowbray, last 10 minutes, they sat back. They dug in, and if you invite it on, you invite it on. And I think I agree with you, Mikey. Clever from Knudsen, because everyone I thought, oh Christ, he's just going to dink this in. It's going to get headed away, and that's it. But no, he surprised everyone.
Yeah. Mikey, the thing is, Mowbray would have got his head on that cross. It may have gone in the goal though. He always threw his head in, even if there was a danger that it'd go in his own goal. But
Birmingham away.
Yeah, he'd have hated conceding that one.
Birmingham away. Yeah.
The best thing about Mowbray's own goal at Birmingham away, right, is that it's a diving header, own goal, right, and the camera gets a close up on him. He gets up, turns around, and goes,
yeah,
and claps his own. His own. I know he's like saying to everyone, "Look, don't worry," but there you go.
Was that a 1-1 game anyway?
That's one of the. It was 1-1. It's
David
the worst games of football I've ever. That Trevor Francis Birmingham team was the definition of shithouse. They were awful. Oh my god. Here we go. Right. Let's just talk debutants, and then we're going to talk about this system and how we think this is going to play out. Let's go to Dave on Gwion Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think it was quite rightly. Well, I think it was presented to him by our Joe, wasn't he? Man of the match.
Man of the match. Yeah. Well
sponsored man of the match. Yeah, he is an out and out winger, and you hit the nail on the head. There's going to be good days. It's going to be days like yesterday when he will do the odd thing. You'll think out your seat, which again, we've said that before. Certain players can get you out of your seat. Obviously, he's got the ability to do that. And there'll be certain days. What I was quite pleased about on the Quest show last night, on the highlights, obviously they showed it on the highlights, but Colin Murray and Dean Ashton didn't make a big thing of that afterwards because everyone would have seen that, and you're going to get what I was going to say about him, his injury. He comes to us. His injuries at Peterborough weren't great. His injury record at Peterborough wasn't great. So he's a sort of an out-and-out winger where you can see if he's going to do that week in, week out. Certain managers are going to say to his fullback, right, him, first 10, give him some first
over by 10. The corner flag when no one's watching, yeah.
And he's given his injury record. I loved him, brilliant. I love his move. He's got a move where the ball, where he's playing right, and the ball, and he's facing his own goal, and he'll drop his shoulder, and it's a good skill, and he'll come inside on his right foot, sort of drop his shoulder and come inside on his right. Yeah, I loved him. I mean, well, what's not, what's not to like? But yeah,
Okay,
I think fitted in really well.
Mikey, Trevor Chalobah.
Yeah, so he's going to be a lot of fun, as I think as we predicted, because he was the first new signing that we had in. He's going to do some mad things this season. He's going to give the ball away, and we're going to concede goals. But he's great fun to watch. He receives the ball, and he loves to turn players. And his signature move, if the Edwards one is the step inside from the channel, Chalobah loves to demand the ball when there's a player right behind him. The closer the better.
Yeah.
Because then they go for the ball, and he can do that mad turn that he does. And he actually turns, for a big lad, he turns really quickly, and he looks great. But I saw a quote on Harry from Bath's Twitter that somebody said he's a Rolls Royce with the L plate still on.
Oh, that was Mullet.
Yeah. I mean that to me just sums him up perfectly.
Just
not sure if he's particularly strong in the air.
So, sorry, Mikey. The caveat. That was his first professional game, and he's 19 years old. That's what we've got to remember the whole time. Imagine being that good at something your first day of work.
Is that absolutely true? That's because it would be when he hasn't been out on loan anywhere.
He tweeted that was my professional debut.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wow.
That's the thing you've got to bear in mind. How much money this guy's going to make out of playing football is.
That's just staggering, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like him, like you, Mike. I really like him. I think he's got a real presence and a bit of arrogance about him, which I like that. I think it'll be a great signing.
Yeah, and Hurst has said that he wants players that when things aren't going well, they still want the ball, and I think Chalobah will want the ball every time he's within 30 yards of the guy in possession, isn't he?
He's been with Chelsea since he was 8 or something. I mean, it's just born ingrained in him, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to see him at centre back though.
No, very very positive. Dave, Yanoi Donasian.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. Here's a comparison. Drissa Diallo. And he took a Drissa Diallo throw right in front of me. One of them. Difficult one to assess yesterday. Let's say I think he looked a bit more comfortable at right back than I think he did at centre half. And the team shape looked better with him at right back, I think. Obviously quite athletic, strong, seemed pretty reasonable in the air from what I saw, quite good in the air. But again, a difficult one, very first game, been with the club only a matter of 3 or 4 days himself. So difficult one to call, but I think a good solid, depending on who comes in this week, squad signing,
Mikey, Ellis Harrison.
I think it was mostly a positive debut. Everyone knows that he is good in the air for someone that isn't enormous. And what he does is he jumps really, really early. And Garner used to do that, but he used to do it to try and win free kicks. But Harrison actually wants to get up to win the header. And he actually, for his size and the size of those Blackburn centre-backs who were actually really good in the air, he won his fair share.
He won 8 aerials, which is really high.
8. Well, that's really good. Yeah. And he did want the ball to feet. I don't think the touch was quite there, but I think it'd be unfair to judge him only seeing him one game, because that is literally the only time I've seen him that I know of. But he seems to get in some good areas as well, and think he can run the channel. I think he seemed better when he had Morris up there alongside him. So he might be a striker that is more comfortable with a player closer to him, because obviously Sears was way out on the left, and Downs was our most advanced centre midfield player. And Downs isn't his position. Downs was almost in the number 10 position for some of the game, and he doesn't really know how to play that position. So Harrison wasn't getting the right types of passes from him. But I think with an Emir Hughes or a Dazelle sliding balls in like the goal against West Ham, I think he'll be a real asset for us.
And I think, Mikey, just quickly before we come on to Teo Aiden, you just made a really good point. You said Downs was in the number 10 position some of the game. That was the only time, other than Ben Morris, that anyone was in the number 10 position, because Skuse didn't go there, and Chalobah was, having a lovely old time sat in front of the back four.
Well, I think he was almost in a free role. And I think Downs...
he gravitates backwards, though.
Yeah, he idolises Steven Gerrard, and he was probably quite up for that position, because it's obviously one that Gerrard had played. But his lack of experience there, he's probably hasn't played in that position much, even at youth level, let alone in the Championship.
Don't you think he's a shoe-in to gravitate to the Skuse role, though?
Well, Dave, I was going to say, all three of those midfielders, and the centre midfielders love it when they're on their own in that position, because it's all three of those, Skuse and Downs, would have wanted to play where Chalobah was playing.
I know it was only a friendly against West Ham, but he was outstanding the week before against West Ham. Ironically, when he was perhaps the more, how can I put it, not advanced, but the more experienced of the three, of Dazelle.
Do you know exactly the same happened at Crystal Palace? He really rose to it. It was very.
Can I go back to Ellis Harrison? What's not to like about Steve Claridge socks?
Yeah, the socks are great. Steve Claridge used to wear one sock down with no shin pad, didn't he? Bloke's weird.
Oh, dear.
Very odd. Dave, Teo Aiden.
I think we perhaps covered it, didn't we, for the goal, really? Yeah, looked good, busy, technically very good. Very much all left foot. But as I said when Mikey was describing the goal, only been with the club probably less than 24 hours. So yeah, credit to him to be sort of thrown on like that, and get the goal, which was a bonus. But I thought he just looked very neat and tidy, and obviously technically very good football. Didn't he not play in the under-19s with Dazelle and Chalobah, didn't he? I think England.
Well, and if he's been anywhere near Tom Kearney,
what am I thinking? And Stephen Johansson.
How young is he?
That's sort of going to rub off, isn't it?
Is he 18, Mikey?
Is he really?
I don't know. He's young, isn't he?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't realise that.
But he played in the England under-19s with Chalobah and Dazelle. He was in that squad, yeah.
Right, okay. So, but he's been around for a couple of seasons.
I think he made his Fulham debut a bit like Sessegnon a bit. He was when he was like 16, 17.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think again useful, but I can see what some people are saying. I've seen this said on Twitter that are we getting this player in? Is it going to be to the detriment of someone like Nydam, for instance, who I would class as being fairly similar sort of player, quite left foot. Hopefully not.
We shall see. Right, gentlemen, we have got a plethora of Twitter questions, and we've already done 40 minutes. Would you believe it? So I'll go to you one after the other. Maybe
alternately.
Yeah, maybe I'll take the odd one. Alternately would be a good word, using less words than I just used, Dave. But then by explaining that, I've just used more words in turn.
Yeah, let's go on with it.
The use of that has become dormant. But let's try and be pithy with these. Nick Maynard, Mikey, what is the key requirements in terms of signings? Those already linked or someone from left field?
Well, I think the players linked, because they're obviously the ones that Hurst sees as the right type of players for him. It would be hard to predict a left field player having, I don't know, loads of players from League One and League Two. There's maybe one left field suggestion that I can give. I would like another experienced centre back, and it could be like when we brought in Stephen Taylor. Although that didn't work out because of injuries, he was sort of there as a backup experienced centre back in the case of Chambers or then Berra missing out. And my suggestion would be Anua, who's a free agent. QPR fans wanted him to stay at the end of last season, so he must be pretty good. And whenever I've seen him the last couple of years, he's surprised me that he hasn't got slow. He's fairly good on the ball. So yeah, that would be my left field suggestion. But I think the players that we're linked with sounds about the right number of players and the right positions as well.
Right,
he'd be on big money, Mikey.
He's a free agent.
And he's not going to get it here.
Well, no.
Yeah. Dave, this is Simon. Would you class a mid-table finish and beating Norwich as a successful season for Hurst?
Yes.
Extremely pithy. Very good, Dave. Mikey, this is Bev. What do you think are the least, as in the least number of new signings we can get away with?
4.
4? Do you agree with that, Dave?
Well, it depends.
Right,
5 if we sell Wag 4 if we sell Waghorn, 5 if we sell Garner or Knudsen as well. I wouldn't want to see us sell all 3 though.
Just
especially after
very quickly
how
on
Knudsen played.
Knudsen. I think you'll see Teo Aiden playing left back if Knudsen goes. I think whether that's a plan or
like yeah, that's a good comparison. I compare him to someone like who I was high on a couple of years ago. That Abita that played left back for Reading. Do you want Abita?
Didn't he score a brilliant goal at Portman Road as well? Right, whose turn is it? Dave. This is Jack's. Do you think Spence should have played in the middle instead of Donacien? And when he came off, should Chalobah have dropped into centre-back and Skews dropped back? So
I think we've already covered it. I totally agree with Mikey. I think I'd have liked to have seen Wolford play, but I can understand the reasons why Wolford didn't play centre-back. Spence... have we ever seen him play in a back four? Have we ever seen Spence actually play in a centre back and a back four?
Yeah, at the start of last season when we won all those games.
Was that not a back three?
No. It was a back four until sort of October time, I think.
Yeah, that would have been.
It was Spence and Knudsen.
That would have been a shout. So obviously Mick trusted him. Previous manager trusted him.
That's a £1 fine, isn't it, Dave?
I know.
Did you hear that thing I did on TalkSport where I did the whole 7 minutes and kept up the previous manager gag the whole time? I was selling it.
I'd like to say I did, but I didn't.
Nah, you were.
Of course I heard you. Yeah, I did.
Thanks, Mikey.
Very well, and you got a lot of praise for that as well.
Thanks. This is Chris Rand, who we need to say thank you. Dave, you'll particularly enjoy this. He did the predictions video, and I thought he was wearing a replica new white with black pinstripe 1981 shirt.
It was a 80-81 away shirt. No, it wasn't. It was a 81-82 away shirt, wasn't it?
But it was an original, not a redo.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
original.
Let me know if that's correct, Chris. Anyway, Mikey. Right. Chris says, in the absence of Waghorn and with Chambers spread thinly, we were really lacking a, quote, character with real presence. Who could step up to play that role, if anyone? Good question. Mikey?
I'm not his biggest fan, but maybe Knudsen. Emmy Hughes, if fit. He seems like a good character. When you see Waghorn messing around at the training ground, the short videos or the pictures that you see, Hughes always seems to be buzzing around as well. He seems like a happy character, and I think it's time for him to, if fit, we hope he will be. It's maybe it's a part of his career where he should be stepping up and taking the lead.
Very good, Dave. This is Ben Moore. Who would you sign with the Waghorn fee?
Well, all on New Year's wages.
It seems that it seems that we've agreed fees for the two Shrewsbury guy, the centre half, or Enciala and Nolan, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. The guy from Accrington, Stanley Jackson, seemingly they're obviously aware that Waghorn's going with them. We're going to get, I don't know, whatever, they're bound at about 7-8 million. So they've inflated his price to 2.5, haven't they?
Apparently so.
I believe I read somewhere.
And Tilt has handed in a transfer request as well.
Tilt. So, I mean, how many do you need? So if you got Tilt in, probably those. If you got Tilt in, if you got Enciala, if you got obviously Nolan, and you got Jackson as well. Yeah, who would I like to see? And I think I agree with Mikey. I'd like to see a more experienced centre half. John Terry's looking for a club, isn't he?
Wow. Okay, this is the aforementioned mullet.
Did he? Sorry to interrupt. But you see, he said that Denzel Washington is his favourite actor.
Mr. Sidney Poitier. Yeah, very good. This is mullet. Does Hurst spend as much as he can now while the money is there, or does he risk being priced out in January and left with maintenance fund later?
Well, can you repeat the question?
Does Hurst? I think this is. I'll read the question. Does Hurst spend as much as he can now while the money is there, or does he risk being priced out in January and left with maintenance funding? I think that's a leading question.
Yeah, I suppose he might as well strike while the iron's hot. I mean, for him, it would maybe be a gamble to wait until January, especially as you end up having to pay more quite often in January, and then there's less time for the players to bed in. You're at a hectic part of the season. I think he should get the players in that he needs now, and then just add accordingly in January, but probably hopefully only one or two.
And I would say make hay while the sun is shining. While that money is there and on offer,
Ben,
spunk
it all.
Right, this is Jules, and we must just say on behalf of the podcast, Jules had a bit of a testing end of last week, so we all give you our best wishes, Jules. Dave, you kind of had this with your short answer. What would you class as a successful first season for Hurst?
Yeah, I think mid-table, consolidate, and then let's see where we are. It's a hard one to call. Depends, who we get in. It could go either way. Hopefully I don't think it will. So yeah, I see mid-table as a decent finish this season.
You've already covered this a bit, Mikey. This is Sam. Whilst not a tremendous footballer, we'll really miss Jonas Knudsen as a leader if he does end up going. Agree?
Yeah, agree. He does seem like a good character.
And I don't want to upset anybody with this comparison, so don't jump down me. Let me finish my sentence, Dave. Mauricio Taricco took a couple of years to settle and then got really good.
No.
Let me finish my sentence. He took a couple of years to settle and then he got really good once he'd kind of warmed in. Do you know what I mean? Just saying that happened.
Okay.
I don't necessarily. They're totally different players. Obviously, I don't necessarily think Knudsen's a bad player. What I loved yesterday, Christ, he can ping a diagonal ball, can't he? My word, he can. But it's just some of those balls where he can't. It's some of those balls up the line where he just, as a golfing term, he shanks them out, doesn't he? Shanks them,
Shanks it into the cobbled stand.
That's where people get on his back. But he's steady enough on the ball, and Mikey's spot on out of the squad who are fit. Hughes aside, and I totally agree with Mikey about Hughes. He's the only big character I see. Now Waghorn's gone, effectively. He's the only big character I can see in that team because they're either new or really, really young.
Mikey?
And Chalabar's a lone player, of course.
The thing is, I was tutting at Knudsen because the first thing he did was shank one into the cobbled stand. The shot that I used to call the Berra shank, where he'd get his feet in a little bit of a muddle and then just shank it straight into
like
the stand.
John Terry penalty.
It's more forgivable for a centre-back to do it than a full-back, because they're supposed to be a little bit more cultured. But Knudsen seemed so up for it yesterday. And if he does stay, I'll be moaning and criticising him over the course of the season. But I'd quite like to see him stay if we're losing Garner as well, because that's another more experienced player that we're losing. And I don't think the money that we'd get for Knudsen I don't think it'd be worthwhile with the money that we're getting for Waghorn.
And don't forget, last season I thought some of his better games was when he's playing left side centre back.
Yeah, definitely.
He can fulfil both of those roles.
He's become very strong in the air. He heads the ball really well, which is, I know it's not what we want to be talking about in the Paul Hurst era, but it's still a very important part of Championship football is winning headers, isn't it?
A very important part of your game if you're managed by either Gary Rowett or Tony Pulis. Let me just leave that there. This is Barry. Whose turn is it?
I don't know.
Who cares?
It's my turn, but we both answer.
Yeah. We all answer that. This is Barry. With everyone's questions being mostly the same, I'd like to know your thoughts on all our revamped players' stadium area, media designs, i.e. team news and matchday program. And do you think there is anything else we could do with the fan zone? So he's talking about the
matchday experience.
The matchday experience. I like that, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding the fan zone, there needs to be more signs letting people know because there will be a lot of Ipswich fans coming back now that haven't been to Portman Road very often with the fan zone being there, and especially with the good weather, it is a nice place to go. There isn't enough signs letting you know where you have to go. My dad, he's 60 now. He went through the normal entrance and then said, "Oh, do you mind if I go through?" And they said, They were polite about it, but they said this is getting ridiculous now. They just need to put a sign up, let you know exactly what you need to do. Because when you're arriving at football, especially if you've come from the pub, you're not really concentrating.
Do you know what I see?
You just spell it out.
I want to see some fans go in with wire cutters and cut their way through.
It's naughty, Dave. It's naughty.
Yeah.
But yeah, regarding the other in he asked Rob Chandler about this. The music before the game, it's still the same. It's still just short bursts of some songs that are football related. Let's just play the Britpop music that we used to play when we were good in the 90s. Like they actually did it at half time, because that's football music. It's for me. They can play like new songs as well, but it's just the same rubbish before the game. So yeah, Richard needs to step up now and make the playlist for them, and maybe we could do a Twitter poll and choose some songs for it.
Sounds good. A strongly worded letter, methinks. Right, let's try and quickly do some of these more. Peter Carr, David, assuming we sign Nolan, which 3 players would you go for in the centre of midfield at Rotherham? This is assuming you play a 4-3-3.
Well, Skews will play. Skews, blimey. Obviously Shalabar, Skews, Shalabar. Yeah, who knows? A kid from Fulham might get a game in there.
Okay, let's move this on quickly. This is Nick. I think Nick's been with us from episode 1, so happy new season, Nick. Mikey, Donasian's best position?
Right back.
Moving on quickly, James. Who do you think is going to score the goals once Waghorn has left? Confident with Harrison?
No, I think he needs some help up there. But obviously, if this lad Nolan comes in as a number 10, I think that will obviously help.
Mikey, there's a few more. Confident we'll get all the players we need before the deadline passes?
Yeah, they seem to be getting moves over the line at the moment. So yeah, I'm not going to be negative about that.
That was Luke. This is Tim. Hi, Tim. Will the lesser spotted Adeyemi play this season, or will be paid off by the end of October?
Paid off.
Oh, this is a serious question, actually, from my missus. Will Ipswich sell enough tickets to water and maintain the grass this year? Mikey? Got a bit embarrassing last year, didn't it?
It did, but it's I've got a friend who used to work with the ground staff, and apparently there's no need for me to say that because we've read about it in the news as well. It's a deep-rooted problem. That was I didn't actually mean that.
I know.
But yeah, we need to get ground force in. Apparently that would cost.
Getting Titchmarsh,
yeah,
get him in.
And Tommy Walsh as well. Maybe Tommy Walsh should play centre back.
Okay.
I think it hasn't. It was a tough
and then we
act
could play the theme song before the game as well.
The groundsman's got such a tough act to follow, because wasn't that Alan Ferguson like groundsman of the year for like 10 years seasons running or something ridiculous?
He was, but it's him that's saying this is what is needed for it to become good. So it's not anything wrong that the ground staff are doing. Yeah. Marcus Evans needs to, if we're concerned about the pitch, concerned enough, at some point we need to invest the 8-figure sum to get it sorted, because it just dries up. And maybe there's too many reserve games on it as well. And
were we not, from what I understand from last season, were we not, Ben? I think we'd learnt this at Bristol City, or someone said about the pitch, because we said when we went to Bristol City, Christ, how nice is the pitch? And they play rugby on there as well. And apparently it transpired we're the only team in the championship
to not have a hybrid,
without this hybrid grass scenario pitch. Yeah,
I think you guys have nailed it. They got to spend the money soon. They can't put it. You've got to get your kitchen done soon if you haven't done it since 1973. Right, well done you two. That was every single Twitter question we got asked. As usual, thank you to everyone at Blue Monday ICFC. We've had loads of new followers. Honestly, we try our best to do all the questions, and the show is far better if you ask them. Right, we're going to the roundup. We'll take this in terms as well. Who wants Brentford 5, Rotherham 1?
Go on, Mikey.
Right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you do this one.
I'll do this one. Game. So, yeah, 6 goals. Very bad start for Rotherham. Very good start for Brentford. We saw Brentford take about 6 weeks to actually click into gear. Harry said very, very streaky team, but you never know whether they can put it together.
What I did notice just quickly about Brentford, they've held on to all their players at the moment. Still got players like Watkins, Yanaris, Canos is still. I think Woods is still there. I think Ben hasn't moved.
Yep.
Yeah, going to be good if they can hang on to.
Yeah, unless they lose the players in the next week, they're going to be playoffs definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Right, who wants the god of football and Leeds 3, Stoke 1?
I didn't see any of this game.
I caught the end of it. Packed Elland Road.
It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah. But how often have we seen this with Leeds? There are so many false dawns, and it isn't. And obviously they have got a lot of new players in and a new manager with new ideas, so that it shouldn't repeat itself. But sometimes a club just becomes embedded that you just bottle it, and that seems Derby are a bottle club, Ipswich are a bottle club in derbies, and Leeds are just the biggest bottle job of them all. They at times will think that they're the best team in the Championship, and then come May they'll be 8th.
I just think sorry, Dave. I just think it's incredible that he's there. But you go ahead, Dave. Go on.
Odds on our previous manager being manager there by the end of September?
High-ish. And do you remember, God, when he did the press after the Leeds game last year? I have never seen. May as well have just handed his CV out while he was there. Yeah, smooth. Dave, you can do this one. Wigan 3, Wednesday 2. Great start from Wigan. Harry said on the preview it's all down to Grigg and Powell. Powell on the score sheet. Sheffield Wednesday as fluffy as ever though, Dave.
Yeah, a couple of goals for that. Jacobs, I quite like him. I think he scored like 10 or 12 from midfield, albeit I think they won. Obviously, they won League One, scored about 90 goals. So again, it's a team that's coming up a bit like Blackburn, high, fairly high in confidence. Fairly same squad still. Yeah, good win. Sheffield Wednesday. They've not made one signing, have they? Haven't signed anybody. Good close range finish from kind of first mention of the season for Andre the Giant, and then he picked up the second yellow as well on like 90. So we're loving that.
The gift that keeps on giving.
And a consolation goal. I didn't even realise he was still there. Consolation goal. Forestieri's still there.
Oh, I think he's going to be important.
Good player.
Yeah, interesting few days for Sheffield Wednesday because they bought nobody.
Very good.
But yeah, good. First game back, great result for Wigan.
I'll take Reading Derby because I was at the game. Reading looked a little bit less shell-shocked than their abominable finish to last season. Myler made a difference in the midfield. They still need a forward. I don't know if Bodvarsson's up to it. Derby were not very good for the first half of this. Midfield didn't look like they knew what they were doing. Typically, Reading take the lead. Typically, it's Bodvarsson because I've been burying him the whole game who scores. And then just classic big club versus little club stuff, one through the keeper's hands, and it all kind of bedded down, looked like a 1-1 draw, and then an absolutely brilliant goal by Tom Lawrence. And because I'm a nerd, I do this, I accept this. I have my iPhone on stopwatch, so I know when the people behind are going, no, that must be 5 minutes now. I go, no, that's 3 minutes 18 seconds because I'm timing it on my iPhone. Dave, 4 minute stoppage time. 3 minutes and 54 seconds of that stoppage time.
No.
But come on, boys. What about that goal, that winner?
What a cross. You won't see better.
Okay.
I don't think you'll see many better crosses this season than that one. It was just the cross was so good, and how he pulled up Mason Bennett, how he pulled off the cross it's almost like a half volley type cross in little space. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great header from Lawrence, guided it, but the cross, he just had to get his head on it, and it was going to go. It was a brilliant goal.
And Mikey, Lampard's going to be very good for some TV ratings, isn't he?
Yeah, Frank Lampard's Derby County. Yeah.
But
I liked how he celebrated. He didn't play it cool because he is quite a cool guy. He dresses very well, but he really was like giving it some when they scored the winner, which I like.
Good.
Talking about that game, just quickly, Ben, some good post-match banter between pre-match banter between Darren Bent and Paul Clement. Did you catch that?
Yeah,
I didn't. No, what happened?
Oh dear. Well, for a start, Bent came out and questioned Clement's ability to manage anyway at that level, and basically said, he's always going to go at Derby, and he let things slip and lax like that. And to be fair, Clement came back and said, funny that, perhaps Wallace wasn't playing. Yeah, funny that I don't necessarily play lazy lazy, overweight players. I mean, yeah, it was toys out of pram stuff.
Needle banter. Sheffield
But that was on it. Darren Bent hadn't tweeted. He'd said that to a journalist, but Paul Clement actually tweeted it.
He tweeted it.
So it was there for everyone to see. And yeah.
God, get off Twitter.
Not what you want from the new manager. Yeah.
No, ridiculous. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 2. 72 minutes out of David McGoldrick. Bulldog, McBurney, the street footballer, and Danda gets the winner. What do we think for these two teams, Sheffield United and Swansea?
I mean, Swansea are going to be good, aren't they? Surely, again, a team they're going to be.
Though, because of Potter.
Yeah, look. Well, who knows? You don't know. I watched this game, and McGoldrick, to be fair, usual McGoldrick looked quite good. Good touches. Still lacks. He's as every season goes on, he's losing that little bit more of pace, but technically still very good. Swansea's first goal was an unbelievably good move. I mean, it was spoiled at the end because they've just got that Barry Mackay. If Mackay had finished it, it would have been a brilliant goal, but the keeper parried it, and I think McBurney just came in and slammed it in. They've got some nice technical players as well. They had bloody Jefferson Montero on the bench coming on, for Christ's sake, winger. They look good. I think that's Swansea and Sheffield United. I don't see them perhaps having this sort of mid-table. I see them.
Okay, right, Mikey. Do you want to do this next one? West Brom 1, Bolton 2. Bad start for West Brom. We said on the preview, will the Championship eat up Darren Moore? Wiltshire gets the winner 2 minutes from the end. What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, it may well do, because they haven't really recruited like a lot of people would have expected, because although they ended last season quite well with that really poor squad, that's a relegated team, and you look at the players that they've got and you think, oh yeah, they're good Premier League players, but they all got relegated last season. They've clearly got worse, or they don't work well together, and he hasn't been able to bring in enough players. I think he's been a little bit hamstrung, and I think they'll eventually be up there around the playoffs, but I think it will be a tough start, and Moore might lose his job. But hopefully not, because he seems like a nice guy, and would be unfair on him, really.
Interesting. Dave, Millwall 2, Borough 2. Pulis seems about as unhappy as Hurst does with this transfer stuff. Is Traore, just get him sold, or Gibson, or whoever. Typical Millwall, they were 2-0 up at half time, O'Brien and Gregory, and then 2 late goals from Braithwaite and Friend on 97 minutes. And do I remember correctly, didn't Borough play away at Millwall on the last day of last season?
No, they played us.
Oh, good point. When did they play? It must have been the week before. Good answer, though. Good answer.
But is us?
Gibson
for Ben or Millwall?
Oh, okay.
Gibson's gone. Gibson's gone, hasn't he?
I'm trying to eyeball you through Skype here. It's not possible.
It's my second season now.
Gibson's gone to Burnley today, I think.
Oh, okay.
Pulis came out yesterday, didn't he, and basically said that they need more bodies in, more players in, and what we understand today, that the deal's been agreed with Waghorn, or a fee's been agreed with Waghorn. So, I saw somewhere today. Someone told me that Borough have also been linked with Knudsen as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about Pulis and Rowett. Sorry, Mikey.
Yeah, it could be 10 million for the pair.
Wow.
Which, I mean, that does sound really good, doesn't it? 10 million.
Which may well put us back in for that guy, that Jackson guy. Although, again, you don't want to be paying over the odds for the players.
Birmingham 2, Norwich 2. Interesting start for the Canaries. They've got form for this, going a goal down on 89 minutes and then equalising on 94. And some one of your well-worn phrases, Dave, end product from Hernandez, which they didn't really get last season. Make or break for Farke now, though.
Yeah, despite the name, I think he's a German, came from a German, again, most of his signings, second division club. I did see, because I do quite like that Jack, and I did dialing, admittedly only for about 5 minutes, to his pre-season pod, and he talked that Hernandez up and said he could be a big player for them this season. So he's pretty much, good start for them. But
he's not normally wrong,
apparently
Jack.
they were poor. I mean, again, reading between the lines, sound like they actually nicked a point. I think, again, typical fluffy Norwich. I think they had like 71% of the ball. Not sure I don't know if you saw the highlight show. It looked like Rhodes had a couple of good chances and just didn't.
That doesn't sound.
Or one the keeper made a good save. One he was sort of like a bit fluffy with, but. No. Again, I think the consensus there is amongst their fans is mid-table. That's all I've seen from them.
Mikey, Bristol City won, Forest won. A bit of a classic Daryl Murphy goal. This worked out quite well because both of these teams have, let's say, quite a high opinion of themselves this season. They've probably both predicted themselves to finish second, you would have thought. Actually, let's put it to you like this. Who's going to finish higher, Bristol City or Forest?
Forest. David Brent in the Bristol City dugout. Yeah. Surely the players, they can't be having him the way he talks to them.
Did you see that clip we retweeted?
Yeah, that is what I'm going from.
Amazing.
And, I'm not having him at all. And there might be another club that look good, and because last season they looked so good at times, didn't they? And then they weren't even close to the playoffs in the end in terms of points.
Cup run didn't it?
Very streaky though.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll have another cup run this season, but no, I think Forest will be strong, especially if Murphy. It sounded like he had an absolute stormer, and if he can light up with the other quality players that they've signed, I think Forest could be quite dangerous.
Dave?
I think a lot will depend. Bristol City is this week is Joe Bryan, if he stays or not. I know he's only a left back, but he's their best player, isn't he? I think a lot will depend on that.
They had an excellent left back who played against us.
Did the kid, was it Kelly? Was it Kelly?
I think so. Yeah, he was really
little
good player.
Mixed race kid. Yeah, he looked really good. I think Bristol City, they were flying. Mikey's right, they were flying, but the cup, I mean, they got to the semi-finals of I still call it the League Cup, or the League or Carabao, whatever it was, didn't they? Had a good run, I think, in the F, did they? Well, maybe not in the FA Cup, but certainly the League Cup. That didn't do them any favours. Once they got knocked out of that, they just fell away, didn't they? I'd say with the money Forest has spent, I think they spent like 25 million now on, haven't they? So you'd think they would expect to finish higher than Bristol City.
And I will be.
Can I just correct myself?
Go ahead.
Obviously, it's Lee Johnson, not Gary Johnson.
Same thing, isn't it?
It's his dad, isn't it?
Yeah. I will be at Nottingham Forest v West Brom on Tuesday night. I'm very much looking forward to it. Here comes an extrapolation. Everybody likes it when I do the extrapolation on the first week because it's kind of pointless and kind of funny. Ipswich are 9th. 1 point per game projects 46, but the magic number, boys, is 60. We can successfully debunk all the imbeciles with be careful what you wish for, because if Paul Hurst gets 60, that will be the equivalent of what we got last season. Which is less than 1.5, isn't it? 1.5 is 69. So who knows? It probably can't have been a very good league last year. If that got you 12th place, can it? Yeah. 8 players on 90 minutes, so none of that. Top goals, Edwards and Eden both on 1. Assists, Edwards and Sears. And for all the Sears bashers, I had this pointed out to me. Reading away, goal. Middlesbrough at home, goal. And I saw him score a penalty at Milton Keynes, goal. And an assist in this game. But well, we'll get onto it for the Rotherham things. Grant Ward will be unsuspended, and Paul Hurst is going to love Grant Ward, isn't he?
I think he will. Yeah. I think he probably will. Well, I remember it. Can I just give, because I promised, and you were there yesterday. I think he's been listening to the pod. He lives up north now. Mark Whitehead's been listening to the pod since day one. And his daughter, Anna, is about to embark on a 4-year soccer scholarship over in the US. So,
wow.
Keep listening, Mark. And, really, good luck, Anna. Mark,
Anna.
Keep us posted on how that goes, mate.
That's brilliant.
Stuff. Yeah. 2 little ducks. Now, Mikey, we're going to have to smarten you up for this. This is the bit where Dave gets very, very uncomfortable. So let me explain the rules to those of you who have never played before. I am going to pick a game from the annals of Ipswich Town history. You have to guess as many of the 22 players that started the game as you possibly can. Now, you can work with David Diamond, and David Diamond is really good at this stuff. Now, the rules are that you can have one. I can't even remember what we called the things. You can have the thing where you what did we call it, Dave? I can't even bloody
It's
remember.
like a golden duck.
It's
No, I don't know.
the golden goose.
Golden goose.
Was it? It was something like that.
It
I
was,
can't remember.
it was.
I'll have to listen back
It
to
was.
one of the old pods. So you can have one where you say, right, I'm not sure on this one, so either way.
And you
But-
can say, can you not say an unused sub, and that doesn't count?
That doesn't count. Any used or unused subs, I won't
Yeah.
count you out. So
Yeah.
do you want Dave to start off, Mikey, and then you can join in?
Yeah.
So,
on,
for
Dave.
example, let me do this for everybody listening. I haven't explained it well. Dave, if I said to you, FA Cup final, 1978, you would say,
Russell Osman. No.
come on, do it properly.
Kevin Beattie.
And I would go, yeah, go on.
All right.
And
Alan Hunter.
say
Nick
another thing.
Mills.
Keep going.
Ryan Talbot.
Go on.
Yeah. Paul Mariner. David Geddes. Clive Woods.
Now say Russell Osman.
Russell Osman.
No, he wasn't there. You're out.
Shit.
Do you get it, Mikey?
Yeah, I get it.
But
yeah.
if you were unsure on Russell Osman, you would say, I'd like to play my golden
My
goose,
golden goose. Okay.
Russell Osman. And I'd go, he wasn't there, but play on. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
John
right.
Walk.
Dave, we know you could probably sleep talk the 1978 FA Cup final. team,
Pat
couldn't you?
Rice. Sammy Nelson. Willie Young. David Price. David O'Leary. Alan Hudson.
Did you see Did you see Mariner tweeted a
Sunderland?
picture of
Liam
he found O'Leary's shirt in the loft and tweeted a picture.
Who's
of
that?
it.
Say again.
Mariner.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
see
did you see that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
anyway, two little ducks. To the power of two, if you're both playing, that means you both get a gimme if you want to use it. We're going to the 31st of January, 2012. 6 years ago. I'm going to get the picture up. I've got Ipswich 5, West Ham 1. Ipswich 5, West Ham
Okay.
1.
Yeah.
31st of January 2012. I'm going to do a couple of plugs while you guys have a little think about this. Obviously, we're still on at Blue Monday ITFC on the Twitter, at Benjamin Bloom. It's at Mikey. What's your Twitter?
Mikey_Smith13.
At David Diamond 3, at Chompex 3, at Ips Rich, at Joe Fairs, at Harry from Bath. Everybody, la di da di da. We are going to reintroduce This Week in ITFC History at the end of the month. Dave will be hosting that with the Renegade Statman. As you can see, there's 3 of us on the podcast this week. We're expanding the team a little bit. It's a long, hard slog for Dave and I. So we brought in Mikey, we brought in Joe. Ips Rich is going to be on next week. He's going to be at the Rotherham game. And as we've had some great feedback, we've brought in Harry from Bath. He's going to be doing the season previews as well. YouTube, subscribe as normal, but it's our 4th season and we'd obviously like to thank everybody who's listened. As we mentioned, some people have been here from day one. We love it and we love all your input. Right, is that enough pluggery, David?
Yeah.
One more thing to plug. Our new feature, 1 minute match reviews. We've had some great contributors. David, Tristan, Jordan, Andres, I'm going to miss someone out, Seb, who've done it this week. If you are at an Ipswich game this season and you follow us on Twitter and you fancy doing a 1 minute review into your iPhone and then just send it off, Ipswich is going to cobble them all together and we hope to get fan feedback. If you go on the YouTube channel or on our Twitter, they're all up there now. Okay, guys, and you can discuss this amongst yourself. January 31st, 2012, Ipswich 5, West Ham 1. Throw some names at me.
J. Emmanuel Thomas.
J. Emmanuel Thomas, you can have scored 2 goals.
Michael Chopra.
Michael Chopra, you can have. He scored 1 goal and was substituted on the 79th minute. That's 2.
Just trying to think. This could throw it all out. But I'm sure he scored. Lee Martin.
Lee Martin, you can have. Yes. 3.
Aaron Cresswell.
Aaron Cresswell, you can have, is 4. Remember, you can play your golden gooses.
This might well be a golden goose.
Discuss
actually.
it with Mikey first, then.
Was it
Martin Fuller? I've got Martin Fuller.
Yeah, I would go for that as well. Yeah.
I would advise you to play your golden goose if you're going to say.
I think we'll play our golden goose here, Ben.
Play our golden goose.
Yeah, it's not Martin Fuller.
Right. Okay. But in goal for West Ham, we do both sides, don't we?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Robert Green.
Robert Green. Yep, you can have that. 5.
Centre half West Ham. Gingerhead, big lump Collins.
I would advise you to play your golden goose. So you've used your 2 golden goose eye now. Do you want some clues?
I probably do. I don't know if Mikey does.
But was there a midfielder for Ipswich that used to play for Leeds United?
Yes.
And West Ham, Lee Bowyer.
And scored at West Ham. Yeah.
Lee Bowyer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I think I've stitched you up. Did Andy Drury?
Whoa!
Did Andy Drury used to play for Leeds, or was it Stevenage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll let you have that because I gave you a bad clue. I'll let you have Andy Drury. Right.
Okay.
You've mentioned this player in this podcast already, and he scored.
For Ipswich?
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
Man,
Scored for Nottingham Forest.
Oh, Daryl Murphy.
Daryl Murphy. I'll give
Daryl
you.
Murphy. Who's the guy, and he'll give me his name, the guy who scored for West Ham was the guy who... Was it not the
Yes,
guy who...
I'll give you that.
Darren Collison.
Jack
Collison.
Collison. I'll give you that one. Yeah.
Jack Collison, that's it.
That's
Yeah.
good. There's some
Collison.
incredibly highly paid players. Player who plays for Aston Villa, whose hair we like, Dave. Went on loan to Norwich.
Oh, what? Lansbury?
Lansbury.
Did he?
Yeah, he's playing in midfield for West Ham. If
Did they
I
have
do this
full-
goal celebration quickly,
Oh, Kevin Nolan.
Kevin Nolan, he's got that in one,
Yeah.
hasn't he? Ipswich goalkeeper's name is Double Barrel.
Oh, Aaron Lee Barrett.
Aaron Lee Barrett. Dave, one of your favourite attacking right backs for Ipswich?
Carlos Edwards.
Carlos Edwards. Should have had a testimonial at Ipswich last season.
Tommy
Tommy
Smith.
Smith.
Tommy Smith.
Can I go for... is there a West Ham centre mid that's still playing centre mid for them?
Very good centre, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Noble.
Mark Noble, very good. I saw this guy on Friday night at Reading. Played for Ipswich and Reading.
Sonko. Ibrahim
Sonko.
Sonko, very good. Right,
Superman.
let's go through these now. You've pretty much got all of them. Right, so for Ipswich, Aaron Lee Barrett, Carlos Edwards, Ibrahim Sonko, Tommy Smith, Aaron
Luke
Cresswell,
Heim?
Lee Martin, Luke Heim I will give you, Andy Drury. Why did I think? Did Drury go to Leeds afterwards?
I think I believe he may have gone to Leeds at some point.
Put it in my head, Mikey. Daryl Murphy, Michael Chopra, J. Emmanuel Thomas on the bench. Richard Wright, Damien Delaney, Leadbitter, Scotland, Bullard. God, Jewell was bad, wasn't he? How did he get a tune out of that lot?
I had Bullard down there, yeah.
West Ham, God, add up this wage bill.
Go on.
Rob Green, Julian Faubert, Winston Reid, James Tompkins, George McCartney, Jack Collison, Henry Lansbury, Kevin Nolan, Mark Noble,
Carlton Cole.
Matt Taylor, Carlton Cole. On the bench, Sam Baldock, Abdullah Faye, Frank Noble, Gary O'Neill, Robert Hall. Ipswich won 5-1.
Yeah. It was the day that when...
Bowyer scored the winner at Upton Park, didn't he?
Yeah,
really quite early in the season, yeah.
Yeah, the last minute winner, wasn't it? And then so that was the transfer window, wasn't it? Because West Ham were signing loads of players and were obviously distracted. I think they were signing Vaz Tay from Barnsley. Because I actually wrote him down, but then thought I was going to use him as my golden goose. But
Cardo Vaz Tay.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Didn't someone get Hyam before I said it, and didn't someone get Carlton Cole before I said it?
Probably did.
I'm going to give you 10 on that one, boys, which is a good effort. As usual, some wise-ass listener is going to tweet us and tell us they got 14. So if you did beat Dave and Mikey fairly, paused it, and did it fairly, then do let us know, and we will add you to the ever-growing Hall of Fame. This Rotherham chat is going to be pretty pointless because we have no idea what the squad is. Going to be. What I will say is he going to shift to a 4-2-3-1 on the basis that I think Skews, I think Skews is really good. You may as well not play him where he played in the first half. It's not going to work with him further forward. What do you think of that?
No, I agree, and I think the game's a bit of a yardstick. This game Saturday, because let's face it, I think, notwithstanding the result yesterday, Rotherham are one of the favourites to go straight back down, aren't they? I think I don't think they've got the resources there. But no, it didn't really work. Yes, I wouldn't want to see. I mean, we've seen that with a previous manager go with that tight midfield in away games where you think, come on, we should be on the front foot here. I don't see Skews and Downs. Yeah, I don't see that at all, really.
Mikey?
I think if we're going to play, I think Chalobah did enough to keep his place.
Oh yeah.
Skews, as we say, will start. So yeah, I'd quite like to see Andre Dazelle in the more advanced.
It needs some kind of ball player, Mikey.
Yeah. However, I'm a bit concerned by Dazelle. In the crisp aisle of Tesco's this morning or this afternoon. So yeah, he was buying a multi-pack of Walkers, which it was good enough for Gary Lineker, wasn't it? But yeah, not sure he should be eating crisps.
Dave, can I give you some definite starters? Bielkowski, Chambers, Donacien. Can't put Knudsen down as a definite starter because he might not be there.
You think Donacien?
I think he's starting. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, Spencer's concussed. He'll start at right back. That'll be the reasoning, won't it? Yeah. Skews, Harrison. Yeah. Well, although it could be another forward in Edwards.
No,
who knows?
They're all fit, nailed on. Who knows? We may well have, and as looks as like we will have a new centre half, and certainly number 10, fabled number 10 by then. So, yeah, it could all be very exciting by then.
And Mikey, is it complete disaster if Waghorn, Garner, and Knudsen are all sold before next week?
Complete disaster. No, but yeah, disaster. A bit disastrous, yeah, because there's just too many goals between Garner and Waghorn from last season, and then to lose one of your only other outfield players that's experienced, I think that would be a bad move.
Dave?
I agree. Yeah, I think if all three of them go, there's just no, a distinct lack of experience then left in the squad. I think there. Well,
and they're all characters as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are strong characters. I think. Yeah. I wouldn't like to see all three go. Famous. I don't think Knudsen will go. I don't know. Who knows? Christ knows. Who knows? I don't know.
All up in the air. I normally can give you a reasonable prediction of the team, but and it could end up. You don't know. It could end up being a 4-1-4-1 type thing, or a 4-3-3, whatever you want to call that system that we had on Saturday. I would just be surprised. Managers often fall into the trend of the division, don't they? But there we go. Right, guys, we have done 1 hour 20 plus minutes. Lovely to be back as usual. Tweet us. Who's on next week? Are you on? You're on next week, Dave. I'm on holiday.
I think I'm on. Yeah, I should be. Yeah, it's Mrs. D's birthday over next weekend, but yeah, I should be all right for Sunday evening, I think.
And
hang on,
Mikey, you're going to be on with Harry before the game, yes?
Yeah.
We need to tell Harry that I'm going on holiday first, but I'm sure we'll find out sooner. I'll text him afterwards. Right, Dave, have you got some pithy, funny sign-off before Mikey says be careful what you wish for?
Just very quickly, it's another shout out, and I'm deflecting stuff away from our pod. This sounds awful, but I caught, and so did I think Jules Hughes caught on Twitter, this young lad. I think his name's Cyber Gamer, and he's only about 10 or 11. Yeah. Sits up in the co-op stand. Brilliant vlog from yesterday. Absolutely superb. Yeah.
Go and subscribe. Go and follow.
More exciting than you.
What is that supposed to mean?
Excitable, I meant to say. Excitable than you, not exciting, Ben.
Wow.
Take it as exciting if you want.
Well, do you want to move to his vlog, Dave? Because be careful what you wish for.
Hey, there you go.
Just went into the free. Oh, he's done the be careful what you wish for. We should have ended on that. Right, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.